Hey there, what's going on? Here to review UFC 113 last night, Montreal, Canada. Start with the first fight of the night. It was Patrick Cote versus Alan Belcher. Kind of went as though I thought it would. You know, Patrick Cote, he's got a lot of heart. I think one of the only reasons that he made it into, title contention before was just there wasn't a whole lot of people that were there in a position to challenge Anderson that had enough wins under their belt. So he did get the position, but even in that fight, yeah, he went 3 rounds before his knee went out. But I don't think he would have won that fight, no matter how long it went on. So Alan Belcher, the guy impresses me more and more every time I see him fight. He's aggressive. He's got like a kind of a street fighter mentality to the way that he goes in and brawls. You can hit him, he keeps on coming. He's got probably the worst tattoo in MMA. We like to call it Fat Elvis, even though it's Johnny Cash. But, shitty tattoos aside, the guy can fight. And, I think that, Dana White has said that, Anderson Silva has a couple more fights. He's got Chael Sonnen, he's got Vitor Belfort, and then possibly after that he's going to move up to 205, which would be interesting in itself. But that's, being that we have a new 205 champion. Anyway, I think if something does happen and that he does have a third fight, if Anderson has a third fight at middleweight, that Alan Belcher would prove to be an interesting matchup for him. So, but the fight itself kind of went like I expected. Alan Belcher, definitely was more aggressive, landed the more devastating leg kicks, and repeatedly, landing those kicks, and you could see it to the body, visibly damaging Cote. So I think it was just overall a much more precise striking performance from Belcher than Cote. Cote's fine, but I don't think he's ever going to be elite in that division, ever. He's Canadian, I'm Canadian, so power to him, but no, Belcher was definitely the superior fighter, and that's what I kind of thought would happen going into it. Sam Stout versus Jeremy Stephens. Sam Stout, I like the guy, but you know what? And he's a grinder, but he is inconsistent in that respect. I think that he is a very good fighter, but Jeremy Stephens is just, he's got more power. When he hits you, he has bad intentions. And, last night he showed that he had the gas tank. He was still throwing bombs, into the third round. And at the end of the fight, he had a little bit of a bloody nose, but, Sam Stout's face was, puffy and swollen, everywhere. And it looked like he had a broken nose sometime in the second round, so we'll see if that actually happened. But no, Jeremy Stephens is incredibly impressive, and I think we'll see some good things from him in the future too. Lightweight division, man, that's got to be one of the most stacked divisions in the UFC right now. So always good fights. That was no exception. Paul Daly versus Josh Koscheck. Obviously we had the Academy Award performance from Koscheck getting the knee to the hair. That was hilarious, but it basically went down like I thought it would. Koscheck is a one-dimensional fighter, and he's got his puncher's chance. He's got a lot of power, but the question going into this fight was, Koscheck gonna fight smart, or was he gonna be cocky and try to stand with him? He did the right thing. He needed the W, and he did the right thing. He waited for his chance. He took him down, and he did what he does best, and that's wrestle and ground and pound. So, not much more to say there other than the fact that was kind of like what everyone expected to happen. The cheap shot after the fight, that was one of the worst displays of sportsmanship that I've seen in all my years of watching the UFC, and I think that Dana White cutting him from the UFC sends a message that, that shit is not tolerated in the UFC, and, that's bullshit. So I was glad to see that happen, and not glad to see Daly get cut, but for his actions, there's a consequence, and, I think that Dana White definitely reprimanded him in the only way that I think was fair to set an example. So yeah, Koscheck got the W in that, and now he's going to be coaching against George St. Pierre, and will fight for the title for a second time, which I think will go just like the last one did. I think George St. Pierre is just leagues above pretty much everybody in that division right now, including Josh Koscheck, including, any wrestler out there comparable to Josh Koscheck. I think GSP is just, he's on another level, and I think most people know that. Main event, Shogun versus Machida. This is one I've been waiting for 7 months, since I was in LA and saw UFC 104 and was completely disgusted at the decision. Shogun, I've been following his career for many, many years, and he is one of my, if not my favorite fighter out there. I think he's just a fantastic athlete and martial artist, and he showed in this fight, what I figured would happen, and that's his adaptability. That is something that Machida doesn't have. Like, Machida is Machida karate, and one thing about that is, his adaptability to someone like a Shogun who fights in a totally different way than most people do in MMA. It showed in the first fight that he was lost. He didn't know, how to find his timing, which his corner kept saying to him, "Oh, you'll find his timing." And no, he didn't find his timing, and he got the shit beat out of him. And the worst decision in MMA history, as far as I'm concerned. And it basically, it happened quicker than I thought it would happen this time. I think that ever since UFC 104, Shogun has definitely been on a mission to make right the wrong that happened to him at UFC 104. And he went in there more aggressive this time. He wasn't going to, let it drag out into the rounds and, leg kick, leg kick, leg kick. He did do the leg kicks, very, very similar, to 104 as far as when the round started, but he was mixing it up. He was far more aggressive this time, and, within, I think it was just over 3 minutes, he, hit him in the side of the head, knocked him down, and then knocked him the hell out. So that was beautiful poetry as far as I'm concerned. It was a redemption, and it was a redemption for so many things, for the horrendously bad judging. Cecil Peoples, as far as I'm concerned, should never judge an MMA fight ever again, for the comments that he made after that fight. Anyone that saw that fight differently that thinks that Machida won that first fight obviously doesn't know MMA. But no, it was a fantastic night, great redemption for Shogun. I couldn't be happier that he's the new champion, and I feel sorry for anyone else that comes in his way. Obviously we got Rampage and we got Rashad fighting. Rampage has already fought Shogun and lost in dramatic fashion. I think Rampage got his ribs busted up and just got the ever-loving shit kicked out of him. So I think that'll only happen again if they're to fight again, and I don't think Rashad stands a chance against someone like Shogun. But yeah, that's the recap. UFC 113. Shogun is the new champion. Fucking A.